Welcome, guys. Keyloggers. Oh, they're fun. Recently, there's been some discussion on this forum and other forums about keyloggers. So I thought I'd make a video on my favorite ones, show you some features, and how to detect and remove keyloggers in general. I'll start by giving you a brief intro on what a keylogger is. Whenever you hit a key on your keyboard or laptop, your computer will generate a simple key code. This code tells your operating system that you've pressed a particular key. What the keylogger does is it saves this keystroke into a file. There are two main types of keyloggers. There are physical keyloggers, which are basically small pieces of hardware, usually attached between the keyboard and the computer. These log all keyboard activity to their internal memory. You can retrieve these logs by typing in a secret key sequence at your victim's computer. Or, more recently, some of the hardware keyloggers actually email and FTP the logs out to you whenever the user goes online. I'll show you an example of a couple of hardware keyloggers. There you go. So this is a PS2 keylogger. This is a USB keylogger. Now, your keyboard will plug into the back of either the PS2 or USB key, and then the hardware device will be plugging in straight into the back of your computer, and everything is stored inside the internal memory. And the second type of keyloggers are the software keyloggers. With software keyloggers, they can be installed remotely by generating a server file and sending this file to the user. The attacker would usually cloak the file inside another application which the user would normally want to open up. This does not need any installation, but it does require the user to double-click the file we send them. Many of the software keyloggers also allow you to specify an email address or FTP address where these logs can be sent to. But for this video, I'm going to show you local installed software keyloggers. These ones seem to be the most common today. This is the type which parents will install to keep watch over their children's online activities. Or another example would be a supervisor installing it locally on his or her employee's workstation. I have 2 or 3 commercial keyloggers which I favor. I'm going to be giving you a demonstration on just one of them, but here is where you can find the other 2 which I like. One is called SpyTech Spy Agent, and the other one is called Micro Keylogger. Okay, so I'll show you the third one, which is called All-in-One. Let's just run this. Next, next. All of these are pretty simple to install. Just I accept, next, next, finish. And of course, when it wants you to save it in program files, try to be a little more stealthy than that. Let's pick C data. And sure, let's have it delete the installer file. Anything that keeps us a bit more hidden will be a plus for us. Okay, all installed. The all-in-one keylogger. You'll want to make sure that you make it a little bit more hidden here. So delete the help file and remove any icons and entries from the start menu and uninstall list. Done and done. Deleted, deleted. Next thing you'll want to do is change the password. So let's just call it EHNet rules. EHNet rules. Alright. We made our mark there. We'll go through a few of these settings. The log maintenance, just where it's going to store the logs, and you're able to change any of these settings so it will manually delete logs if they reach 7 days old or older, or whatever you specify. You can specify the amount of days or amount of megabytes, gigabytes, or you can make it even just flush the logs onto a USB stick when they're plugged in. Textual Settings. A good feature with this that many applications don't have is it has two-sided chat logging. That basically means that it records everything on both sides of your employees or your children's conversations. Okay, and visual settings are screenshots. Again, a whole bunch of different features here. Media settings, pretty spooky. This can actually record your microphone. A lot of laptops nowadays have built-in webcams and microphones. This one can even email an FTP, the logs, screenshots, audio, everything to you. LAN settings that can copy all the logs straight across the wire, across your network. Any restrictions, these are your parental controls. You can specify certain websites or certain programs that they're not allowed to access. And you can also make this a ticking time bomb. Just put down any date you want for this to uninstall on. It'll delete the log files and uninstall the whole utility. And if you aren't really wanting this to be too stealthy, and you do want your employees to know that you are watching them, you can put down a short little message on here too. So whenever the keylogger starts, it'll pop up. You are being watched. So by default, as soon as you install this, it actually starts logging. So it's been logging this whole time. Let's go ahead and escape. Let's give it something to log. Let's open up Notepad. Let's see. What is some secret valuable information? My chocolate truffle recipe. The secret ingredient is Nutella. Alright, let's close out of there. Now, why I like this program? Well, it's kind of fun. It's fun to open it, because all you need to do is type in the password you set up. You can type that in anywhere you want, in your browser, in Notepad, in any application. You can type it into, let's type it straight into here, into your search menu. So it was EHNet rules. Boom, there it is. And you can even just type it in blankly here on your desktop. EHNet rules. There. Okay, let's go ahead and stop the login. Let's see what we found. Okay, view textual logs. Now it shows, I clicked on the start menu, yes, I opened up Notepad. Oh, there's my secret ingredient, Nutella. Okay, let's see what it found for screenshots. Wow. There we go. So there's a picture it took. So whatever your, I guess, victim sees, the attacker can see. Just as if he's sitting there right on the victim's computer. Pretty spooky, eh? Okay, so if we had been going onto the net, you can view any net logs, any chat logs, any audio logs, the microphone. You can export it to a pretty little HTML report, extract the screenshots only, or the webcam only, or whatever you have. Or print them all out. Really embarrassed on that. Okay. Let's close out of this log viewer. And let's pretty much done with this. Actually, while we have this keylogger up and going, I'm going to show you something called a Key Scrambler. I'm kind of skipping ahead here. I'll just tell you that some of the new keyloggers out there, they're fully undetectable. So our antivirus doesn't alarm us while we're infected. One method of protecting ourselves from these nasty keyloggers is to encrypt each of our keystrokes using what's called a Key Scrambler. Since a keylogger monitors keystrokes, they'll basically be receiving logs which look like garbage, as our keys would then be encrypted. Sometimes this application, Key Scrambler, the logs won't even be there. It'll just be a blank page. So they'll know that you went to Gmail or your web email or your online banking, but that's it. They won't see your username and password. Let's see if I can show you that. We'll start the login again. Now I already have Key Scrambler installed, and it starts automatically when you go into a browser and you go into an online form. So let's go to Gmail. I'll type in, let's see, my junk email account here. And I'll just show you. It hides here in the taskbar. Key Scrambler on. And you'll see on the top left corner, it's active. And what it's going to do, if you keep looking on the top left corner, when I type in my password, it's just a bunch of junk up there. That's not my password at all. Okay, now let's go back to PHNet rules. Let's see what it found. Did it find my password or not? I certainly hope not. I'll be quite embarrassed. Okay. Textual log. Gmail. Boom. Look at that. That is definitely not my password. So what it gave the attacker is a line of garbage. Just what I was planning on. Okay. Let's close out of here. Stop the logging. We're going to actually, let's uninstall. That's a nice feature. You can uninstall straight from the application here. Since there won't be any uninstall program. One of the stealthy features it has. If you look in the task menu, task manager, sorry, there's in the taskbar there's nothing, no icon showing. Task manager. Okay, so nothing showing here either. Start menu, and nothing there either. Okay, now let's go ahead and uninstall it. Okay, I've uninstalled this keylogger. Now I'll show you a free one. This free keylogger is called Ardamax. And in case you're wondering, I do have a couple other free keyloggers that work quite well. Ghost Keylogger, that's an oldie, but it's pretty solid. And the other one is called Spy Outside. But for now, I'll show you Ardamax. With free keyloggers, they do have a downside, which is they're not as stealthy. Okay, install. Let's install over to our C data folder. Don't want the tour. Let's just run Ardamax. And by default it pops it right into the taskbar. Let's go to Options. First thing you want to do on any keylogger, at least in my opinion, is set up the security. So let's go ahead and set up the same password here. ehnet rules. ehnet rules. Okay, next thing is the invisibility. You want to make sure it's hidden as well as it can be hidden for a free keylogger. Hide, 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 remove, remove, remove. Start in hidden mode. Options. So to open up the keylogger, being a free keylogger, it might remain down in your taskbar, but nobody will be able to open it except for you with the password. And this also has the same feature where it will self-destruct if you tell it to. You can just put in any date you want. Log files. Stop logging, which means, yep, it's already watching us. Creepy. Okay. You can control anything you like here with the delivery. You can send logs however long you want them for, like 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. Delivery method by email or by FTP, or straight over the wire, over the network. Monitoring. It will monitor any of these. Web, chat, application, screenshots, even the nice and creepy webcam. Alright, screenshots. Just show you the rest of the features here. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up Notepad. My most embarrassing moment was when... Nah, you're not going to get that out of me. Alright, let's close this up. Yes, it's still in there. And you do need to type in a password. There. So, as you can see, I clicked on the Start menu, opened up Notepad, and it caught up everything. Alright, let's close out of here. Exit. You'll need to type in your password again if you really want to shut this down. Give them their privacy for a bit. Well, that's about it for the demonstration. I've already explained Key Scrambler and how that application works. Some other countermeasures are, a few examples I can think of are one-time passwords, security tokens, or if you're really desperate, the on-screen virtual keyboard. Now that's in like dire emergencies if you just really need that eBay thing bought, or whatever your emergency happens to be. So go to your on-screen keyboard. I'm pretty sure I clicked on that. Okay, so here's the on-screen keyboard. Instead of actually hitting the keys on your keyboard, all you need to do is click on these keys on your screen with your mouse. Now because you're clicking on it, it's not going to register in any keylogging program. So you can open up your Gmail, online banking, eBay, whatever your emergency is. But again, as you can see, Key Scrambler comes up. So if you have Key Scrambler running in the background at all times, it takes up very little CPU usage, and pretty much defeats the purpose of having any other countermeasures in place, like the on-screen keyboard. Another way to detect that you have a keylogger installed is when you get an alert from your packet sniffer, such as Wireshark or Snort, that there is an outgoing SMTP connection or FTP connection. That basically means that some application is trying to send an email or an FTP outside the network there. Your firewall will probably detect that as well. Many antivirus applications are now able to detect some software keyloggers, but because many of these keyloggers are actually legit pieces of software, the antivirus does not label these programs as spyware or viruses. No antivirus or anti-keylogger program can ever be 100% effective, but I have found there are two that are the most effective at detecting any keyloggers I've thrown at them. So they're called Spy Shelter, and I believe you pronounce it PrevX3. I'll show you these two right now. Spy Shelter. This is I guess you would call it an anti-keylogger application. Again, just next, I accept. Okay. A good thing with Spy Shelter, all you need to do is right-click on any, like you can always do a scan, let it scan your system, but if there's a suspicious-looking application or file, you can right-click on it, select Spy Shelter, go down, and check the file. Okay, just finished scanning this file, and it scans through a bunch of different antivirus, anti-spyware vendors, and it did pop up with 3 vendors, including Symantec, which shows that yes, it is spyware, is what they label it. Not a nice application, anyway, is what they labeled it. Okay, so if you had that application Spy Shelter installed initially, and then you try to install Ardamax or any other keylogger, it will just pop up a whole bunch of red flags, warnings, letting you know that it's probably not the best application to be installing. The next one, I believe it's antivirus, anti-spyware, anti-keylogger, all that stuff. PrevX3. Go ahead and quickly install it here. And during the install, or shortly afterwards, it'll do a scan, like right now. I'll just pause the video until the scan is complete. Okay, the scan is complete, and as you can see, it found that pesky little Ardamax application all over the place. It found, looks like 9 infections. So those two applications are excellent. Either one of those, excellent to have. In addition to Key Scrambler. So I hope that was informative. I hope that was fun. And I hope you try a keylogger or two. Go ahead, mess around. Have a blast.